And welcome to Youth Nation right here on CT and your family's choice. Kama kawaida ni mimi wako Manolo of Recap, and I'm happy to be with you today as we dive into a very deep topic that most of you don't even know about: anxiety. What is anxiety, guys? Anxiety disorders, what do they come with? Mental health, mental issues. Ni kuchizi tu, ama there are some mental issues that people have and they don't even know. Did you know that depression is a mental issue? Did you know that 1 in every 13 people in the world are going through an anxiety disorder and don't even know it? Well, join me with some of my friends as we dive into this topic and get to know what is anxiety, what are anxiety disorders, what are the symptoms, and how can you know that you have an anxiety disorder. Come through, let's go, join me, twende kazi, I'll see you, come. And welcome back to Youth Nation right here on CT and your family's choice. Kama kawaida ni mimi wako Manolo, ni mimi wa Jesus Manolo, ni mimi wa God Manolo, but that's enough for right now. Anyway, if you're just joining us, I had introduced this topic and I was saying today we are talking about a very serious topic that most of you guys ignore and you don't know about, and maybe you're going through it but you don't even know about. So let me enlighten you. We're talking about anxiety disorders, and I was telling you ile ka statistics kidogo nilifanya pale nyuma ya nini kabla nianze hii show, inasema 1 in every 13 people in the whole world is suffering, or is not suffering, let me say is going through some sort of anxiety disorder, and most of it leads to a mental illness called depression. Yes, depression is a mental illness. Educate. Get your pen and your notebook. And as we dive into this today, I'm joined here in studio by amazing people. Yani na wacheki, mnataka kutuambia nyinyi nani ama tuendelee bila kuwajua?
Tuendelee.
Yezi imekata. So anyway, on my immediate left.
Yes.
What's up?
Hello viewers. Anyway, my name is Kerry Kagiri. Yeah, that's all you wanted to know, my name.
No, Kerry.
Yes.
They have to know what you do every day at 3.
I am Kerry Kagiri. I am a performing artist. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ, but mostly I'm a radio presenter at a very amazing radio station. Can I mention it?
Yeah, come on.
Kubamba Radio 91.6 is the only station that gets you inspired. I do many shows there, so just keep following my page, Kerry Kagiri. Yeah.
Hey. Hilo unajua sikudanganya hata huku tuna inspire. Si mimi inspire. Adunga inspiration mbaya sana kama hii ya leo. Radio. Unajua sisi ni television.
But I have a face for TV.
So unaonaje hii ni TV unaamsha hapa CTN?
I'm just saying, like I'm just saying information.
Hey, yo. Mimi naitwa Edo Dobura. I'm part of a group called Recap, Murap, and I'm also a student. I'm studying for a degree in marketing. Yeah.
Ado maito kama hiyo. Acha niwashow watu wangu wa mtaani. Mmeona venye ka kitu ka disparity. Mmekaona? Hello, I'm Kerry Kagiri. I'm from, IID. Mimi to do. Mimi nimetoka. So ndio unaona chale leo Loration mwingine achapie pale Bangu venye inakaa, lakini si wote tuko pamoja, tuko ndani. Anyway, straight to it, guys. What is anxiety disorder?
Anxiety is a mental health disorder. So basically anxiety leads to depression in the long run, and the anxiety is like when things that are not really supposed to make you feel anxious and kind of panic, they do that to you, yani.
Yeah.
You get. Or,
so like it's a mental, lakini nataka pia uambia wase wangu juu sitaki mse aseme tena anxiety ni kuchizi.
No.
I
feel like he's explained it pretty well, but in layman's terms, I feel like anxiety is the opposite of being able to have coping mechanisms.
Oh.
Of how do you cope when you're in trouble?
Yeah.
How do you cope when when you are you have a phobia?
Yeah.
So there are those extremes of just not learning how to, number one, cope with day-to-day stresses, And it could be caused by, yeah, as you said, anxiety, which in the end leads to you being depressed, meaning you really, it gets out of your control. It's in your mind, you're in a world, in a bubble of your own. You are not productive, you are rude, and things just change. Like you're the norm, you don't behave like a normal person.
Not normal.
And guys are like, it's not cheesy, like say to China, Uchi, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but
You're not yourself.
you're not yourself, and you're not what who God has set you out to be. In
Come
this,
on.
yeah.
Come on.
Pretty much.
Oh, well, unajua sasa ndio ile time naona nikaa nafaa nichukue kale club coat na ka stethoscope najua inaanza hivyo na inaisha na cope alafu nianze kutamka hizi maneno and what am I leading to? I'm saying I'm driving at types of anxiety disorders. There are types, and so tell us what are some of the types that guys go through. I think I know of one, and this is social anxiety disorder.
Yeah.
Where I think when you're just with people, you feel.
And there's a difference between having social anxiety disorder and just being a different personality. Let's get that clear.
Yeah, the introverts.
Yeah.
I mean, kuna watu tu wakiwa around like other people who they don't really know about, they're not comfortable.
You feel like that's you? You're an introvert?
Yeah, I'm an introvert, but I'm also very aware of my anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's basically social anxiety. Just
Social
as you
anxiety.
said. So exactly.
When you're around many people,
I'm not feeling the vibe, and at some point I never even used to attend class because of that.
Hey.
Juu staki tu kuwa around watu.
All right.
Wow.
On the other hand, some of us can't wait to go to class, can't wait to meet people. I'm not saying that is not a disorder, it's just a personality. But the disorder comes in when you're not able, when it gives you paralysis. Okay.
Right.
For me, I'm an extro, and
Extras. Wape minute wa
like
Google.
extro,
My friends, let me help you.
extrovert.
Just Google lisho ya leo si ile ya nini hapa. Ile ya nacheki ile ya ndani kabisa. So extrovert.
Yeah, but it's not a condition, but you need to learn how to cope with people like him. So naturally, if you're not a mad person, you'll actually do research on how do I handle Edu. You know, Edu first has proximity issues. And he'll be the first person to come and he'll just be like, why is she touching me? You know, why is she talking to me? Don't talk to me. So I feel like we have a lot to learn about all this, and you're doing a good job.
So I've seen also there's like phobia, when you just have phobias to things that you wouldn't really have phobias. Like, I don't know, mention one. You seem like you have
I have a very serious phobia of cats. I think, bad joke. I think all cats want to kill me.
All cats want to kill you.
I see a cat, I'm like, it wants to kill me and I'm gonna die right now. And it got so bad. One time I went for golfing with my mom, like in Nyeri, and there was this cat that just came and brushed against my leg, and I had to be admitted in hospital because I was so bad. Like, I was panicking, I was crying, I was shaking, it was out of my control. Recently, I visited my family abroad, and when I got there, my cousin just adopted this cat. And this one time the cat walked into the TV room, and that was it. There's actually footage. I don't know if you're gonna like try and get. I have footage of me just completely panicking and crying.
We have to watch that footage. Next up, stay. Kuwa raga, your footage lazima tu watch.
It was bad.
Lazima tukucheki. I mean, and like, Edu, I know you know me, wambia me, show me your friends and I tell you who you are. Like, Edu is a good friend of mine, and we've gone to places together, and pale kwa kamlima manze inakataa. This guy and the heights, even tukipanda tukichezea 4th floor.
We've ever done a video shoot on a bridge, and after the shoot the director couldn't use the footage.
Why?
Because apparently
Edward, the whole time he was just
like
the whole time. The whole time.
I'm so
you know,
sorry.
And you know, such is life.
Yeah.
But anyway, before I want us to go on break with the DJ Kaspax. Najua anataka kutuangushia ka, you know, ndio hiyo wanataka kuwasha kamoto mo. But even as we go, I want you guys to tell us your personal experiences, like with anxiety. You know, when did you realize you have anxiety and whatnot? But on that thought, I also want you at home to think about it. Chenye tunaongea about, is it familiar? Is it something maybe your child is experiencing and you don't know? Wona mwambianga tu we ni babi kapaka.
We ni muoga.
We ni muongo. But you don't even know what they're going through. So I want you to think about that. Welcome back to Youth Nation right here on CTN, your family's choice, where we create decent conversation. And if you're just joining us, thank you very much. Enda uchukue glasi ya maji, weka hapo kwa meza, tulia, tupa remote usahau station ni gani, alafu utuwatch. Today we are talking about anxiety disorders, and we were just saying that anxiety disorder is that feel of unease, of an uncertain outcome of things. Like you just don't know, you're just like anyway, you know, that's what we're talking about. And you know, I'm joined here by Kerry Kagiri mwenyewe. Kama unauliza ni ule wa kubamba, yes, ni ule wa kubamba hapo anawapigianga ile pambio ya jioni. And Edward Obura, okay, yake lazima niseme na Edward Obura, what yani rapper hodari hapa Nairobi. Hiyo kama kawaida ni mimi wako Manolo, ninaendelea kukonda nikinona na tuko pamoja. Well, anyway, anxiety. Just before we went you know, on break, and the DJ Caspax akatuangushia hiyo vitu, ndio. We just wanted to know your, you know, your personal encounters with anxiety disorders. So we can start with you, Kerry. What's up?
Okay, I feel like for me, to be honest, I feel like God really saved me from my, you know, my season of depression because of anxiety. And my main anxiety was not being where I thought I would be at a certain time in my life, because I was jobless, I was at home, I was doing nothing, I was in my, you know, living with my grandmother at that time. And for me, it drove me crazy to the point where I wasn't doing anything about it. I was just locked up in my room. So I became like a cabbage for like a whole, I think about almost going to over a month. And that could drive you crazy. As I say, you know, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. And so I can just quickly compare this to like many of the people who I've talked to with anxiety. For them, it became an issue of drugs and substance abuse and all that. It just went that way. For me, it became a point of I was so afraid that there was nothing my life was gonna come to. And for me, I'm a very like a bit extra determined person. Like I'm like, I go all in, I love all in, I work all in, I do everything with everything. And imagine this particular person being like locked up in the house, being afraid of walking out of the bedroom door. So it's as bad as you're not showering, you're not doing anything, like you're not leaving bed for hours. In fact, there's a time I think my grandmother thought I was dead, because she was like, this person, is she this house? Kerry Kagiri, I know, the most friendly person. Kerry is not my home name. She was probably like Waboi.
Waboi?
Yeah.
Hey, you ladies are in your Samuel.
So anyway, for me, I guess that's what I'd like to share for now. Of course, there's so many other times in my life, because it's not a one-off. It's not something that just comes and hits you once. I've had phases where it did get to, you know, substance abuse and all that. And we'll definitely get into that some other time. But for today, I think the main and most recent encounter I had was where I had, it has a name, it's something paralysis. Like you just are afraid and scared, and you're so scared you do nothing about anything, and you're not calling, you're not trying, you're not sending your CVs, you're not doing, literally you're a cabbage who's just living on earth. And I feel like we need to encourage such people and find out what's the root cause, because we have brothers, we have sisters, we have mothers, we have people who are doing nothing with, and everyone who's alive, there's something that God has placed you on earth to do. And I feel like you see those people, like, oh, anakuanga tu hivyo, huyu hata ni mlezi. There's something that they're going through. There's so many battles inside your head. It's a war, it's a world on its own that's a war, and it's just really hard. Yeah.
What? Edu, like, how did you find out, like, how did you know that, hey, this is serious, this is anxiety?
Yeah, so the first episode I can like think back to was when I was in class 6. So after this period of uncertainty in school, and I kept changing schools. I think that was the root cause of the anxiety in the first place, because I never used to stay at a school for more than a few months.
Ulikuwa Mrui ama dada alikuwa Salvation?
We kept moving, tulikuwa tunahama.
Oh, like
tulikuwa tunashinda tukihama, so paro hataki kuacha huko na msha move kitu kaa hiyo. So in class 6 I got really sick, like to the point of my mom thought I was going to die. So after that is where I can think back to the first time I experienced anxiety. So that anxiety caused depression, and then since then it was kind of a cycle: anxiety, depression. Once you get over depression, the
Back to
anxiety comes.
anxiety,
So
yeah.
like when life becomes uncertain. For example, during high school I was very stable, so I never experienced any anxiety. But after high school, once I finished KCC, then I started university and we started doing music professionally. And the challenges that came with doing music professionally brought back the anxiety. So basically that's just that. And the funny thing about these mental disorders, and it's not just anxiety, there's anxiety, depression, there's bipolar disorder,
Yes.
there's so many of them. And the funny thing is that in the society, or rather the community where we live in, people don't like to acknowledge that they are actually things.
A disorder, yeah.
When someone is going through a panic attack or an anxiety attack, people will rush to huyo amerogwa ama hizo ni demons. And this is something that a doctor will diagnose you and treat you just as they will treat malaria and HIV and all that. So basically
that's how you found out.
Yeah.
You know, when I was doing my research on this, because I don't know, one day I like researching and just feeding my mind with a lot of knowledge. Ndio nichangie vitu mob. Kitu nimejuanga kiwa mtoi kaa wase wakiongea juu ya ball, sikuwa najua, so nilikuwa nataka tu na land ndio nichangiange. So I just started diving into this, and then I realized it's such an issue. Like, I realized, guys, there's actually a test for it online. You just need to go and Google, you know, anxiety disorder test by Authentic Mental Health. Just Google that, anxiety disorder test or mental treatment test, something like that, by Authentic Mental Authentic
Mental
Health. Yes, those guys, and they have a test there that they ask you questions, you answer. They ask you what not, and then they get to tell you if your answers are these, then this is what you're going through. This is your type of disorder. Na nilijichunguza hapo. Nasema kumbe hii matime kunaendanga hivi ndio maana ni nini. So I want you to also go and do that. Go and check it out, and you know, don't be naive, my people. I mean, I feel like I was so naive before just diving into this topic, because I didn't know what guys go through, and for me I was just like, you know, it's ni venye tu life iko. Unajua, maybe wase wengine ni wa soft. That's what I'd call it. And I know you at home, maybe your child is going through this, and you know, you want to become a mercenary now and beat this child until, because it works.
Beat it out of them.
Beat it out of, it works, yes. But you know, wakikuona kama general mom na you're never there for them, it's, you know, it will bring up other things later on in life. You know, there's this very ignorant thing people say, hizi vitu ni za wadhogo. You know, these things, they are for maju peeps. So we just leave
stop
them there.
using social media, stop watching TV. Hizo ni za maju. As it
Ukivaa
were.
jeans, wachana na
kuvaa
jeans, enda ungoe matawi hapo ushone uzi chape hapo mankara ya matawi za banana, unacheza na za popo, cheza hivyo na unaweka ka morning glory hapa for effect. Acheki kale ka blue ka flower ka blue. Anyway, so guys, I mean, just go and check it out. It's not for Adhogo, it's for everyone. You know, you don't have to be. Maybe it's our culture. That's how we were brought up.
Our culture.
Our parents will always tell us, "Oh, si tulipigwa." Me, my mom never wanted to hear this and that. But I need you to be the difference. Go and check it out. Go. I mean, there was actually a video on YouTube. There's a vlogger. She was vlogging, and as she was talking, it just happened. Then she shared that. I was shocked. I was like, "What?" It's actually true, you know. So I mean, very quickly, I just ask you guys to shoot it out there. One word of advice for someone going through anxiety or someone who's dealing with a person who's going through an anxiety disorder. You know, just throw it out there. And you know, as we tell guys, kwaherini.
I feel like we should always have our love glasses on. When you meet someone, they're being strange, they're being some type of way, find out why, and don't rebuke anyone if you're not ready to love them. So find out why. And for you who's going through this, I feel like there's so many now, there are centers that you could go to and first get admitted, and then probably these people can reach out to your families, because you have to do it voluntarily. So I think you know you're struggling, and I want to encourage you, step out of it. There's help, there's a lot of help right now. There's so many young upcoming psychiatrists coming up, and Mathare is not like a hospital for only people who've gone like cuckoo. Like Mathare is really affordable. It's a good counseling space. You can get counseling, you can get psychiatrists who are affordable, who can just come and see you, and you could get, you know, treated for your anxiety. And just know, yeah, there's so many people like you out there, and you will be okay.
Yeah. Noma sana.
I'd say for someone going through anxiety, like, don't hide and don't withdraw into yourself. The first step is acknowledging that you have the problem and talking to someone about it. So withdrawal is counterproductive. It won't help you, it will only make it worse. It's in your mind, you think it will help you, but it will just make things worse and worse. And for someone who is coping with someone who's dealing with anxiety, thing is, first of all, you can't judge or look at someone different because of what they are going through, because all of us have our own different struggles. Yes. So it's up to you to be there for them. And yeah, basically.
Yeah, man, thank you so much, guys, for joining us and just, you know, sharing that. For the parents out there, man, anxiety is a thing. Go research, read about it, get books, get to learn about it, and maybe you'll see, just as in, hivi tunasemanga mtu wangu ameharibika ni mrudi siku hizi, maybe it's just sprouting out of something that happened a while back, you know. So, you know, a change of environment, change of something, you know. So, I mean, get to know about that. Anyway, as we tell Edu and Kerry bye, sisi tunabaki mimi hapa na Kaspax. Lazima niseme na kahaita Kaspax sio. Ndio. You know, so as we come back with my hustle, you know, usipotee, baki na sisi, kaa na sisi, na kwenye wameambiwa na Kerry muende mget love glasses, usiende optica kuitisha love glasses. Unaweza tulia tu, au sio? See you my hustle coming up right up. Thank you guys for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Shukuru sana DJ Kaspax. Ebu wangu shaka kitu. Hey.
Hello, yes, welcome to my hustle. It's your host Martha Njao, and I'm joined with one of the amazing photographers that gives it the reason behind this background. I'm telling you, it's so lovely. So, hi, what's up, Tony?
I'm good. I'm Tony. My full names are Anthony Wawero, and some people call me Madhogodhani.
Oh my God, Madhogodhani just means, Madhogodhani in Kikuyu means something that is confused or something of a sort. Why that? And
it was actually just a name somebody gave me, and then I just went with it, and then people picked it up so fast. Now people tell me, when Madhogodhani lakini kazi yako sio Madhogodhani. So I'm usually okay.
For sure, I have history on that. Like, I can tell you for sure this guy is a good photographer. So maybe you can talk us through your photography history, or how did you start?
So I run my own photography company, and it's called Pixel Link Photography.
Yeah.
It started back in 2013 towards the end, and then first I went to school to do graphics and design, animation and 3D. Mostly I just love film. I like film and everything to do with it. Yes. So when I joined Shangtao, there was a camera class, and then I had never seen a DSLR before. I was like, actually had this small camera. It was just that I used to see these big cameras, and then I was like, we had a kind of video. So I decided, let me just join the photography class. It was actually 2 months. So I never went to any class. I just did the practicals. I never went to class. I hated going to class to begin with. So I went to the final class and the practicals. Then on the last day, one of my friends got a camera for his dad got a camera, so we decided, Leo, come to town to take a few pictures, and that's how it started. It was actually in lifestyle, and then at the back we were just taking pictures. Basically, that's how Pixelink started.
Are you trying to tell me you were one of the photographers Central Park back then? Oh my God, I'm shocked.
I actually was. I was actually one of the people who started going to Central Park to take pictures.
That reminds me of something that's going on right now. And inafaa ifikie mzazi ama isifikie mzazi. How do you...
Mimi, if anyone, like for my work or the work that's going on, the thing.
What's your... First, give us a comment of what you think is going on. Like, are they really photographers or they are just spoiling the name of real photographers?
Well, they're spoiling the name of photographers because, you see, when I started photography, it wasn't a very big, saturated market. It was usually just a couple of people, some very good ones, and then now the mainstream ones. Now when you start, there's this, girls like pictures. There's no nini about that. So whenever there's a photographer somewhere, girls will want the photographer to take pictures. So these kids, we can call them kids, they usually just want the attention. So when they come town, they'll talk, and all they will want the girls to come. They never do it for profit, most of them. They're just doing it for the status. They want to be known they're the ones who took it. They're the person who took the photo. They're the chick on the photo. That's basically what they're doing. So what they're doing right now is actually, you can't say they are not spoiling it for us as such, because in the end of it all, your work speaks for you. Yeah. So if people will start saying, when you are a photographer, tell me, no, I have my own work, here it is. But if you are a photographer who is serious, you know you're not supposed to be worrying about this ifikie wazazi thing, because
I know, right?
Yeah, because in the end of it all, your work speaks for you. Yeah. And most of these people are young, because during when the schools are open, there was none of these things happening. But now they are.
Ifikie wazazi actually started like 2 weeks ago when they just actually.
And they were on social media the whole time. These pictures have been there, they have been posted, they have been trending. So it is actually just somebody decided, these people want attention from us. Why don't we just direct their attention to their parents?
Oh my God! So how unique can you describe your photography skills?
My photography, I do portraits. I love portraits. I like shooting faces. I have shot girls. I like shooting women primarily, but also I've done a few models who are guys. I do portraits. I like retouch. I like fashion. I like a bit of corporate. I just like trying to create a beauty in a way that somebody has not seen it before.
Do you actually own a camera right now?
Yeah, I own a camera.
So maybe you can take us through. I know they are pretty much people who are in campus and they're wondering, guy, a camera is so expensive. How am I supposed to get money to get one camera? So maybe you can tell us, how did you come up with the money? Like, how did you save up? Where did you get the funds to get a camera?
Most surprising things I usually tell people. So when I started doing photography, it was me and another guy. Yeah. And then down the line we decided, no, we should go separately because we have different styles, different clientele and most of the things. So I decided, let's branch. But the thing with branching differently is that I was left without any gear. I had no camera, no speed light, nothing, had nothing. So for 1 year, from 2014 to 2015, I operated borrowing. I just was, this guy, give me your camera, and I have a shoot, have a project, help me. So
in between the borrowing, were you hiring or just for free?
Hiring and borrowing. Usually you can't find everyone who will give you. Someone will have a shoot and then it's hectic. So most of the times when you're beginning, you don't necessarily need to have a very, very expensive camera. The first camera I shot with was D90. I shot with a D90, Nikon D90, and then a D55, which is a beginner camera. Yeah. It's an entry-level camera. I never had a gear. So the first camera I bought was last year, which was beginning of February. And I have been in photography for 3 years, but I bought my first camera last year. So the thing I tell people who are beginning in photography, you should have a camera, and a camera that can shoot. As long as you have a camera, be it a very low budget camera or a very high budget camera, the skill is what determines what you will achieve in the end.
So in other terms, people should not get excuses that, oh, I don't have money to get a camera. This guy borrowed cameras. Like, he did borrow cameras to do work. If
you decide to use that excuse, that means I will have quit photography in 2014 because I had nothing. I did not even have a battery, let alone a camera.
Yani, you were just there. You just had dreams with nothing to start.
So now it's 2014 and now it's 2015 in the beginning. I have nothing. My work, a lot of people know my work. They know there's Pixelink and it operates, but I actually have nothing. So if someone calls me and make up an excuse, I'm busy. So in the end,
hey, you're a smart boy. by the way.
This guy is so busy. Yet I'm broke at home.
Yeah.
But then when I get a chance, I find a camera, I find someone, we go somewhere, we take pictures, I work on them, post them. So I try building my brand even when I know I can't actually work because I don't have. So then I started getting a lot of clients, and then it's now I couldn't go on borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. So slowly saving and saving. Then I got a lucky break, got some cash, and then I got my camera.
Oh my god, I feel so motivated. This is so inspiring. Yani, you can just start from nothing to something actually, because right now you're such a big name. So in other words, you're balling, you have money. Tell us how the income comes through in photography.
In photography, like I was saying in this Ifike Wazazi in Saga, most of these are not doing it for the income, because the various way of getting income, there are so many. Like they are models, these girls that you take pictures of, they call you, they want a shoot for their personal use. Then there is corporate, there is weddings, there is family functions, let's say birthdays and ratios. All these are usually photography fields that you can actually profit from. Like if you want to find a niche, you can find a niche in corporate. Now you work for corporates, you just work corporates only. And then you can't just get into photography and say you'll do everything. You can't do this and this and this and this and this, because now you'll find your work you're not doing the same thing. Yeah, exactly. You can't know everything. So what you do is you find a niche, you find something that you know you are going to be good at, like something which I like portraits. So I know that when I get a portrait I can't go wrong with it. So that's what I primarily do. Yes, I do corporate and this, but when I get a corporate and I can't do it, I usually I do it or I give someone else to go do it, because sometimes I usually have a lot of portraits to do.
So is it something that you've always dreamt of, like becoming a photographer, or is just popped out after you joined Shantao?
So, so my field, I have a field in art. I love art. I draw, I paint, I do most of these things. So when I joined campus, the thing I wanted to do was 3D animation and film. Even right now, my end game is doing film. I want to change most of the things in the film industry. But then photography, I discovered it was a way. It was a stepping stone for me to get to what I want in the end. So that's why I joined photography. And then once I started doing it, I realized, wait, I really like doing this. So now I decided, let me do it.
You really sound very focused. So maybe one word you can give, one last word before you end the interview, one last word you can give to people who want to get into photography, and people who are serious. The serious ones.
Well, what I like to tell people, if you are a serious person and you have the passion, if you see something and you see this thing, and the first thing you do is take your camera and want to take a photo. It might be just a rock on the ground, a flower, a butterfly. There are some people who are like that, who really like to do those things. So if you're one of those people and you want to join photography, all you need to do is get focused, get yourself a camera, and if you're going to invest in something, invest in glass. By glass I mean lenses. So the good thing is you can have a low budget camera but have good lenses, because no matter how much these bodies will change, because there's a new one this year, another one next year, the lenses are always going to remain the same. So get yourself a good basic camera and then now invest on glass. And then don't wait for jobs. Always go out and find something, like build a portfolio. With a portfolio, you can approach anyone and tell them, hey, this is my work and can I take photos of you also? And that's mostly how I got most of my clients. So focusing on get your gear and learn how to do some retouch, learn a lot of retouch, because what I've noticed in Nairobi, most photographers take good pictures but none of them want to invest the time in retouching. Because that's actually the boring part. That's how you sit down on one photo for a full hour. No one wants to do it.
Hey, I can see this guy has a lot to say, but due to time I have to somehow cut you short. And I see you look like a boss. Hata nguo naona umevaa ati imeandikwa I am who I am, deal with it. I'm sorry. So what do you have to say about that?
All I can say is, I am who I am. Just deal with it.
You gotta have to deal with it. So anyway, tell people where they can find you on social media.
So on social media, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me at Pixelink, Pixelinc. On Facebook, you also Pixelink Photography. And you find me on those two platforms.
I better take a nice photo after this and then I get to appear on his famous page on Instagram, guys. Anyway, this brings us to the end of our show. And before I end it, I have to remind you guys to check out jobs. There are a lot of jobs in Nairobi. In case you want to hustle before you get your own money, to get your own camera, kama utaki kutumia njia yake ya kuhustle, you can check out Brighter Monday. There are jobs for you over there this week. So guys, see ya till next week. Bye bye.